Hello, friends. My name is Olivia Pelts, and I am one of the counselors at Sunshine City Counseling. And today's question: how do you know if you are in an unhealthy or toxic relationship? I'm going to assume that you are asking this question because you kind of suspect maybe something's up, or you suspect maybe your friend's in an unhealthy or toxic relationship, but maybe you're not fully aware that you could be. So let's have a chat. How do you know if you're in an unhealthy or toxic kind of relationship? So there's a few things. It's not exhaustive, so don't at me. But one kind of first thought that I have is if your community is reflecting back to you consistently. Hey, I'm concerned. Hey, seems like a red flag. Hey, that seems weird. That's curious. And you find yourself growing increasingly defensive. Not even of your actions, right? But of the relationship or of your partner. It is not your job to defend your partner's actions of why they did or did not do something, or what they actually meant, unless you have asked them what they actually meant and they have told you what they actually meant. But a lot of times when we find ourselves entangled in these unhealthy or even toxic relationships, we find ourselves so very often defending our partner, and that's not our job at all. So that's something to be curious about. If you find that your significant other, your partner, is controlling, right? That you lack voice or a sense of power or agency in the relationship itself. Relationships should be dynamic and should have equal amounts of power. When one person has to get big and the other person has to shrink or stay small, that is not a healthy relationship. We have a lot of questions as to why that might be, right? Another thing is if there is no ownership over wrongs or hurtful things perhaps that they have said, but instead gaslights. No, that's not what you meant. No, that's not really what happened. No, that's not how you felt. And or turns it back on you that somehow they're always the victim. That's really curious to me as well, and potential signs that you are in an unhealthy or even toxic relationship. Another thought was maybe that they seem to hide you from their friends or family, and whenever you ask them about it, they assure you that you're the light of their life and that you're really important to them, but other people just wouldn't get it or understand. That's weird and not normal. So flag on the field for that. Another thought was if they don't have any friends or a sense of community, but they are kind of like a lone ranger. I don't know. I just don't get along really great with other people. I just haven't found any friends. You've lived here for 10 years. Yeah. I just haven't been able to find any. Again, it could be that they're trying to isolate you, and that would be kind of a big deal and a sign of a potentially very unhealthy or even toxic relationship. And so if your community is consistently reflecting back to you, hey, this is kind of strange. Hey, what about this? That you find that your partner is controlling, and even if you are able to justify why they are controlling, but it still happens in that anytime that you try to have a voice, even over silly stuff, doesn't seem to really matter, or it just seems to get like run over by the other person. No ownership ever of, yeah, that was really hurtful, I'm really sorry. But instead they often gaslight you, right? Or turn it back on you, or they hide you from their friends or family, or there's no sense of community. Again, this list is not exhaustive. These are literally my first thoughts about what I would see as potentially very unhealthy components, potentially even toxic components in a relationship. So if you have further questions or you want to kind of dig into this a little more, holler at us. Shoot me an email at info@sunshinecitycounseling.com. We have 2 locations. We serve the greater Tampa Bay area here in Florida. We also service Portland, Maine, out of our Eastern Shore Counseling office up there. Lauren is the helm of that office, and she is fantastic. So if you find yourself up there and want to holler at her, do it. She's great. But until next time, we'll see you guys. Bye.